Selena Kumo running to the basket. And she makes the first layup of the game. This is game 2 of the ladies finals. KPA versus Equity Hawks. Equity Hawks are defending champions, but KPA won the first game yesterday, 77-67. Today, Bosiri, what do you expect as Felmas and Diambo, the big block on the drive by Denise Okon? What do you expect to see in today's game from Equity Hawks, Bosiri?
I expect to see better bench management by the coach of Equity, but most importantly, take advantage of his size. But his size has to understand that every time they get the ball under the basket, doesn't mean they should attempt. If a double team is drawn to them, they need to look for the shooters out there.
Yes, indeed. You can see today he's brought back Hilda and Darcy in the starting lineup, which was a mistake yesterday. Let's see the difference as KPA goes to their normal starting lineup as of yesterday. Let's see if Belinda can pick up from where she left the game yesterday, as Mercy Wanyama misses everything on that first attempt.
But then you see, Abel, when Belinda got the ball on the low post, Betty Kananu left her man and went to double up on her. Therefore, it's obvious they're still playing that double team on the post play, and therefore they need to be able to have slashers or open shooters on the outside who can shot the ball off the pass from the post play.
Yes, indeed. As Denise tries one more time that drive and she misses the layup, and Samba gets the ball back as Equity resets. Samba with the long three, knocks down the three. 4-3 of the scores. 4-3 of the scores. KPA lead with 8 minutes to go. Samba Mjomba. Yesterday she started off pretty well and then she actually fizzled out during the game. Let's hope that today she can maintain her composure and her aggressiveness all game.
The physical toil on the body, or the physical effort on the body to play for 37 to 40 minutes is very heavy for any player, and especially when you're over 30 years of age. And therefore, that's why I talked about bench management. The coach needs to be able to manage the time played by Samba very well.
Yes, indeed. As we see Selena Kumbu knocking that long two to put the scores at 6-3 right now, as Denise Okot brings the ball up for Equity Hawks. Equity is the team that is a bit, as Hilda misses everything on that jump shot, but Belinda picks up the rebound to give them the second shot. As I was trying to mention earlier, Equity Hawks being the older team, as you mentioned yesterday, indeed it takes a toll on them when a player like Samba has to play such long minutes in the basketball game, because you need your legs, you need your body, and it's harder for an older body to recuperate all the time.
That's correct.
Hey, what about when we saw KPA? KPA is older than Strathmore University, but they managed to have more energy than the other team.
I think in that particular situation, we had players who had different experience in terms of number of years played, playoffs games played, championship won, and therefore it was easier for KPA to adjust, however much they were older, because they have been in that situation many times internationally, or in the Zone 5, or in the playoffs here locally. They're able to adjust mentally, and it's a mental thing. If your physical body is still there, but your mental strength is not there, then you're incapable of making adjustments. And the only thing that failed Strathmore was their inexperience, their youngness, in mind.
Yes, indeed, because KPA is young and experienced at the same time. Hence, it's much more difficult for Equity to overcome that physicality that they can bring with the amount of years of experience that they already have under their belts. As we can see, a jump ball situation that KPA wins on the other side of the floor.
But today I would like to see Brenda Ngeshi play a little more. I don't think she was given enough time yesterday to play and establish herself, because I think she's a very good alternative. Another match she gives up a little bit on offense, just like Joseph Umba does, but offensively she's a good effect and a very good experience in terms of managing the pace of the game.
Yes, indeed. I've had a conversation with the coach Antonio Juku, and the reality is that in his coaching style and philosophy, he needs players to always be explosive and aggressive. And Brenda Ngeshi is more of a poised player, so it's kind of hard for her within the system. And this is what we talked about earlier yesterday about coaching philosophies. And as you see Betty with the long pass to Natalie, who misses a wide open fast break. You cannot miss such a fast break, Natalie, without that experience. So back to the point is it's just coaching philosophy. And some coaches are very rigid. Other coaches understand that you adapt to the players that you have. Brenda Ngeshi, with her skill level, she's arguably one of the best point guards in the country. You are supposed to find a way to play her and change your style when she's on the floor.
Correct.
And then have another unit that plays in a different style. And that's what we're talking about in the first game when Strathmore was playing against KPA.
That's correct.
You need to have different units for different things that they can produce on the floor.
Yes.
So I think it's not an excuse, and let's hope Brenda Ngeshi gets more playing time today.
I hope so too.
As you can see, nice pass out there to Hilda and Darcy, who misses. Hilda has started very poorly as Mercy Wanyama sends up a prayer and gets the basket and the foul.
Wild shot.
Very wild shot, but she gets the bucket and the foul. 6-5 on the scores, 5:45 to go in this first quarter.
As I always say, Bora basket.
Bora
After
basket,
all.
not basketball. After all, it went in.
Exactly.
As Mercy Wanyama sets foot to shoot that free throw, she misses, and Belinda is fouled by Bridget Nanzala. Bridget fouled. Bridget didn't box out. It's amazing. She missed on the box out to pick up this unnecessary foul.
Is that 2 fouls on her?
We shall see what the table shall show us, which foul she has. Scores is 6-5. With 5:44, the table did not show us the foul. Azida Ndasi fakes the whole defense, dazzles inside but misses. Natalie pushes the break. She has Betty on the side. Betty takes it to the hoop and scores that to stretch the lead 8-5 for KPA with 5:26 to go. Yesterday, Equity Hawks started this game leading series, but today KPA has led from the first tick as Betty Kanano picks up a foul.
Surely. That is not. It's impossible. That's cannot be an offensive. I mean a defensive foul.
That
How
is
is that
an
a blocking
offensive
foul?
foul.
It's an offensive foul.
Yes, indeed, and the referee missed that call at point blank. And this is what we're talking about, our technical aspect in terms of our referees. In the past few games we've watched, they're missing a lot of calls. This was right in front of referee Kiyumba, and he literally missed that call and calls a defensive foul, which is something that is going to stop this player from playing defense the way she's supposed to. As Mercy Wanyama takes another jump shot but misses it.
Correct.
Natalie out of control, but manages to salvage the play as Bridget turns it over and Hilda runs to the basket. Natalie should avoid the foul at this point. Hilda scores to bring the scores to 8-7. You know, Natalie Kine yesterday had 4 fouls, so today she should watch her fouls from the beginning of the game. Celine takes it to the hoop. And this is one of the things we keep talking about, the jump shot. Was it necessary for Celine to go all the way to the basket at this point? It was a big man and a player below.
She's already scored a jump shot, a long jump shot. She got the ball in 15 feet from the rim. All she needs to put up the jump shot.
Exactly, and this is one of the things that our coaches have to insist on, because as a coach you have to get mad at players playing in that manner. As Felmas almost fouls over there and Mercy takes it and bulldozes into the paint as the MVP. She shows why she was the MVP. She brings the score up to 9-8. Equity take their first lead of the game with 4:25 to go in this first quarter of the second game. Belinda with the foul, with the reaching foul on Bridget Nanzala. That's an unnecessary foul, I think. I haven't seen Bridget make any post move and score the basket, so why would Belinda panic?
I don't understand. It's exhausting to see players getting into unnecessary foul situations because they want to be over-enthusiastic and overzealous.
This is another thing with point guards. I think sometimes you must first drive and try to score before you try to pass. The defense needs to be used to scoring the basket first and then make adjustments. As Felmas and Bridget play a little two-man game inside there, and Felmas finishes strong at the basket for 10-9 KPA lead with 3:55 to go in this first quarter. And we can see Sue on the substitution bench for Equity. Coach Maina wants to go to a sub as the ball goes back in the paint to Mercy Wanyama. She's double teamed by KPA, which is what they've been doing the whole time to her. They keep double teaming. As a jump ball situation with, between Belinda and Natalie again.
I like KPA strategy because they are saying we're not going to get beat by the post players. So they're throwing the double team on the post players and they want anybody else other than the post players to beat them. So like in that last play, Equity were forced to rotate the ball to...
As Samba makes a second three, today Elizabeth Samba Mjomba has come out here to play. Equity Hawks lead 12-10 with 3:26 to go as KPA tries to cancel that 3 points. And Natalie with a 3-point of her own to cancel Samba Mjomba's 3. 13-12 KPA. This game is living up to all the expectations, just like it did yesterday, as Mercy gets a very difficult pass from Samba Mjomba. I don't think that pass was quite necessary. And Natalie throws a long one in front to Bridget, who can't control it quite well, and turns it over. And there come the Equity Hawks running. Celine fouls Linda Gassi from behind.
It's depressing to see an experienced player like Bridget Nanzala playing like a rookie. Misplaced passes, can't catch the ball, can't score like she did yesterday. I mean, it's very depressing actually.
And ironically, I had a conversation with her before this game, and she promised that today she's going to have a better show for herself. She's going to play better than that. So let's wait and see. Maybe she's not yet in the game at this moment. So let's give her a few more minutes to get her act right and see whether or not she's actually woken up on the right foot today. As you can see, Linda Orlando has checked in. Equity has made the first 2 subs of this game. KPA hasn't yet made a substitution. Equity has brought in Linda Orlando and Musu. Let us see what those 2 players have to give to them today.
Orlando yesterday was shaky. My God.
Every single time Mercy will find herself on a one-on-one position against KPA, she will score or draw the foul. And right now there was a defensive lapse, a sleep away by the KPA defense, and she found herself with Felmas, who picks up her 2nd foul in the first quarter. 13-12, KPA leads, but it is not a good time for KPA if Felmas picks up fouls early in the basketball game.
Yeah, it's looking a bit dark now because their main players are being fouled out. I mean, they get drawing fouls from Mercy. So, like in that last foul, I don't understand why Felmas had to swing her hand. She had no chance of blocking Mercy. So, really, just put up your hands and stick your position. Mercy will miss the basket, like she did anyway.
Yes, indeed. As Mercy rolls in 1 free throw out of the 2. To tie the game 13 apiece, 2:30 to go in the first quarter of the second game. As you can see today, Equity is doing a better job on defense. Betsy Kananu hasn't been able to get a single shot up so far. The defense is tighter and not allowing her the space. As Bridget Nanzala turns the ball over one more time, and Equity runs. And that was an attempt fast break, and that was a very good play by Celine Okumu, who hustled and managed to get the ball. And KPA coach Anthony Juku calls a timeout. He does not like what he's seeing his girls doing right now. 13 ups, 2:14 to go in the first quarter.
I still believe that KPA needs to play a full court game. You cannot sit down in your defense here and wait for Equity to come up with the ball and dance around and pass the ball to the post. Make the post players of Equity run full court all the time. Otherwise, it's going to be a disaster.
Do you think it's not more of a strategy by KPA coach to start low and act as if he's just sitting back on defense and then wake up at some point and run them out of the building?
Yeah, that could be a strategy, but now it's failing because their post players are all got 2 fouls.
Exactly, which is very dangerous. So right now you need to come out already and realize maybe that's what he's calling out in the timeout. Let's wait and see what he's going to do right now. But it's amazing to me in our setup because in the NBA and everywhere else, when a player takes 2 fouls, that player walks out of the court immediately without failure and the coach subs. And our coaches tend to panic, I think. They think you win the game in the first quarter. The game is very long. With 2 fouls, that player needs to be subbed. But Anthony Juku is taking again a bad risk because Felmas can pick up a 3rd foul on anything.
Correct. That's correct. As a coach in my team, when you get 2 fouls, you start working out. It's obvious you're going to be subbed.
That's my same philosophy.
It doesn't matter whether it's the finals or the first game of the season or a game against a high school team, it doesn't matter.
Yes, indeed. As KPA inbounds the ball, 13 ups, 2:14 to go in the first quarter. And that's a very strong defensive player who's on Celine and making her game uncomfortable. And she draws the foul on Linda Orlando. But we spoke about this yesterday, Mosiri. I mean, Samba Mjomba is guarding Betsy Kanano. Betsy Kanano is a bigger guard, stronger guard than Samba. She should be the one getting the ball and taking the ball to Samba Mjomba. What do you think?
Precisely. And I don't understand what the strategy of the KPA coach is. It's obvious, there's a mismatch there. Samba is slower. If she was quicker, then I can understand, but she's slower, she's smaller. So for sure, we need to have the ball on Betty Kanano's hands by all means necessary. And then we clear the court. Whether it's on the post or in the open play, it doesn't matter.
Yes, indeed. As Natalie misses the first free throw and drops the second to regain the lead 14-13, 1:51 to go in the first quarter. KPA is still in that sagging defense that you were complaining about. Mercy Kananu putting ball pressure on Samba Mjomba. And they missed a backdoor cut there. As ball is skipped there to Linda Alande, who misses everything. And Mercy can't handle the offensive rebound. And the ball goes to the other way. I think Equity Hawks, just like yesterday, has a good start. They've always started well in their games. The real question we have is always the third quarter of their basketball games.
I think today's game will be dependent on the fouling situation for KPA. If they've got enough fouls and therefore they have to go deep in the bench, then Equity will have a chance to win the ball game.
Yes, indeed. As we can see, Coach Anthony Ujuku has just made his first substitution with Georgia Adiambo, who had 6 3-points yesterday, coming into the ball game already. He's hoping that she'll pick it up from where she left it yesterday, as Felmas turns the ball over. Samba on the fast break, but can't control the ball. That's the second time Equity is throwing those long passes that the players can't seemingly control.
But there's always that argument about passing the ball on transition. You can't pass a ball to somebody who is directly ahead of you. More often than not, because the person has to turn back to get the ball, and they'll always either travel or mishandle the ball. They're supposed to ball at an angle where they can be able to see the ball.
Nice high low there by Felmas and Bridget Nazala, who scores. That was a super pass by the young girl Felmas, who actually read that play as a double team came from the weak side and dropped it to cutting Bridget. KPA leads 16-13. As Sue is called for a travel, and KPA seems to have put up the energy right at the end of the first quarter, just like their men did earlier in game 1. It seems to be a strategy that the company uses. These teams pick it up in the last 2 minutes of the first quarter and then try to run with the game. Here's the matchup we're talking about earlier. Betty with the ball, but she kills the dribble, looks for Bridget. The jump shot that she misses, and KPA regains the ball. And Natalie has the ball. Will they hold it for one last offense?
That's a wild shot. That's a wild shot.
That is missed, and Mercy controls that rebound. 16 seconds to go. Equity with the ball as Hilda Ngasi brings it up. 16-13. As Mercy takes it strong into Felmas for 16-15. And Felmas does what she's been doing since yesterday.
Excellent transition. Excellent transition.
To end the quarter 18-15. This is incredible. This is a great battle between Mercy and Felmas. The two big men for each team are taking the ball to each other.
And that's what I'm saying. They need to play a full court game. They put full court pressure and they run the floor. The big men of Equity cannot keep up with KPA in transition. They will not, because they are heavy, they are slower, and therefore you just need to be able to run the floor properly like they did in the last place.
Yes, indeed, and that's a fact, and that was a typical example there, because Felmas was a player below the basket that just concealed the basket, and managed to run ahead of Mercy, who was right with her, and we scored that layup at the back of the defense to give KPA the 18-15 first quarter lead.
See Samba Mujambo with a fast jump shot early in the game. She got herself going already. But even yesterday she had a very good game. I think she had about 15 or 16 points over a couple of jump shots and transition. There we see in reply Celine Kumu, also a very good jump shooter. The controlling of the paint by Equity between Mercy Wanyama and Belinda. In transition, there is no way Equity can keep up with KPA. As you can see there, Betty Kananu going for transition using a Euro step to beat a man and make the layup. There we see Hilda, who is the only spark in terms of transition in the Equity side, who can be able to keep up with them in running up and down the floor. Mercy dominating the paint there with a couple of bank shots and rebounds. And finally, some high-low play or low-high play between Bridget and the young Felmas.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, once again, so we talked about the double team at the low post, and we get Denise to shoot the ball. Anytime we say Denise must shoot the ball, nobody else, not Samba, not Hilda, because them they're good shooters. But if they pass the ball to the people who cannot shoot, then we have a chance to be able to pick up rebounds and run down the floor.
As Natalie puts up a shot, I think Natalie does not try to play enough offense. She doesn't give herself enough credit, yet she's a good offensive player. And I think it would open up the game if she actually tried to play offense, because she's always looking for her teammates, and we can all see that. The opponent knows that. And yet she's a very good shooter and a strong player on the drive. That's correct,
that's correct. I think it's her background in the things that she was playing before. Maybe she was not expected to be too much of an offensive drive, but maybe at this point in time, like we saw in last year's playoff finals against the same team, KPA, she was forced to take up that offensive burden and put up enough points. And even in the last game where she was named the MVP, she put up 35 points or so.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. So as we go back into the second quarter of this game between KPA ladies versus the Equity Hawks, KPA leads 18-15 and KPA leads the series 1-0 in the best of 5 series of the national finals, the Kenya Basketball Federation National Finals, sponsored this year by ESEN and Lighted Sports and Events Network that has sponsored these finals, allowing us to broadcast these finals and also awarding prize money to the winning teams.
Yeah, that's very critical that at least we're able to attract some kind of sponsor this time around. It's important that also other companies come in and put in some money just to sponsor maybe the players' refreshments or some energy drinks or uniforms for the winners and stuff like that. So we can be able to have more players, being interested in our game.
Yes, indeed. That's a very good point there, and that's very necessary as Samba takes another shot, but she misses this time. Well, Sina, there's a very interesting factor here. When Equity was in Uganda, and Samba knocks into her teammate, when Equity, Mercy goes to work down low, but this time he's unlucky. When Equity was in Uganda last year, Sue was making three-point jump shots. And today, if you've noticed, she's been standing at the three-point line alone and looking to run the play. What has changed all of a sudden?
I think it's a location. When she's in Kenya, she has got a different demon. When she's in Uganda, it's a different demon.
As Linda Orlando makes that baseline jump shot to cut the lead 2017. Natalie Akini missed the play. I mean, there was a wide open Georgia on her left. It's amazing to me that she didn't see this as Anne Rose checks in for KPA and Sue sits down and Belinda comes back in for Equity. As you can notice, Coach Maina doesn't seem to want to go too deep today on his bench.
I don't know. His strategy is a bit poor. Like I said yesterday, he needs to play Brenda. He needs to play Hilda for at least 2 to 5 minutes every game. Because those are young point guards who have got some poison. Okay, they've got some poison. Of course, they are inexperienced, but they can still play the game reasonably.
Yes, indeed. Most likely doesn't trust them. As you can see, the combination between Mercy and Belinda, as Felma seems to have picked her third foul. Is it a foul on Felmas? Yes, indeed. Felmas picks up her third foul. Coach Anthony Ojuku is obliged to serve at this point.
There's a young player called Christina Akinya. I think she's a good option at this point in time. She's starting the game. There's not too much pressure compared to the third and fourth quarter, so she needs that substitution. And these are subs he should have made when Felmas got her second foul.
Yes, indeed. It's a 2017, 8:20 to go in this second quarter. (2017) KPA leads.
And Felmas looks like she has come from a battleground. Yesterday, I think she got hit on her hip, and she has got a very huge, bandage across her lower lip. Looks like the game was very physical.
Yes, indeed, and she got that cut at the end of the game. It was less than a minute to go in that game. She was still on the floor. And this is very dangerous for KPA because the referees did not allow them to make the substitution, keeping Felmas on the court, meaning she can pick up her fourth foul. And these are some technical mistakes we talk about in our officiating. Our referees are not doing a good job of controlling the game and making things happen the way they're supposed to happen. As Natalie takes a wild drive and drop over there. And
her idea was good, but that's like the last play. She should have gone for the finish. She should have made the layup rather than trying to pass the ball. What's the issue?
And you see Orlando that shot and misses. And again, as I just said, did you see Felmas on that contest? She almost picked up her fourth foul. And this would be all on the refs. As Bridget Nanzala was right, she did wake up on the right foot today. She's making baskets today, 22-17, 7:30 to go.
That run down the floor, that pace at which KP is playing is what they need to maintain for the whole game. There's no way Equity can keep up with that pace. No way.
Good double team by Andros. That was the play that was read from here. We all know the double team was coming.
Yes.
Georgia Gamble with a very, very careless pass. Bridget Nanzala has not even set her feet yet, and she made that pass. Again, very, very unnecessary play by Equity because they're forcing the pass and KPA has already double teamed. How many times do they need to turn it over to read this?
I would rather they take the jump shot, because when they take the jump shot, the players will get displaced a little bit as they go for a rebound. They've got better position on the rebounding position rather than trying to force that pass.
Exactly what they're supposed to be doing. Jumba on the fumble there.
There's some two mismatches there, and KPA cannot see. Belinda.
And that's a broken play there. As Georgia Ademo pushes the ball in transition all the way, misses everything, but fights back the hustle play, puts it back in.
What a play! What a play! What a play!
What a play by Georgia. She stuck with the play. 24-17. KPA stretched the lead. 6:27 to go. That's the biggest thing of the game. A 7-point lead by KPA. That was a good play by Georgia. She stuck with the play.
That was good patience.
Mercy, good patience. KPA slept on that play. On that pick, they switched. I don't know. Why did Bridget switch?
I don't get it. I don't think that's a plan. But Bridget decided to just switch.
Yes, indeed. You can hear the coach is calling her and screaming because she switched on that play. And this is an interesting sub. He takes out Bridget and puts Betty Kananu to play in the paint.
Yesterday when I interviewed him after the game, he said whenever he puts the 4 guards inside, he expects to put pressure and to run the floor like crazy.
So right now he's about to do what you expected.
Yeah, exactly. So I want to see whether he's going to do exactly that, because that's what exactly he told me in the interview after the game yesterday.
But I'm very curious, Bosire, why is Mercy moving back, yet she keeps shooting short on her free throws? She's supposed to stay closer to the line, and she keeps moving back, and every of her free throws has touched the front of the rim.
That's correct.
Secondly, yesterday I noticed one thing when Betty Kananu was guarding Mercy Wanyama, she actually reduced Mercy's scoring.
Exactly.
Considerably, because she's much more mobile. Referee Jumakeru makes another call. Was that a double dribble? There was no double dribble. There was a handoff.
Not at all.
There was a handoff. What did the referee call?
It's unfortunate that we keep talking about the officials, and it's not necessarily talking about the officials because they're talking about the game.
Yes.
They should be the silent arbiter, but they want to take charge of the game. They want to take control of the game.
Yes, indeed. And that's rather unfortunate, as number 12 is asleep on that play, and she allows Belinda to be at the basket and to score an easy basket. It's a basket and a foul, 24-19. Belinda on the free throw line.
He wants to bring back Bridget, and they told that she needs to be mentally tough. As again, she wants to make a sub rotation, I think, on Christine Akinyi. Yes, I think he has had enough of the rookie and said she can't take the pressure of this particular situation.
Maybe he's trying to have a conversation with the player, which is what I would do as a coach. Maybe try to help her rectify, but he should put her back in because he'll need her. Felmas already has 3 fouls.
That's correct.
Anything can happen at this point, and you can still lead her down the stretch.
That's correct.
The game is still early. As a coach, just put her back inside. As Andrews, that's her strength, taking the ball to the hole. She goes on, she misses this one, but that's okay. That's Andrews' real strength. He's taking the ball to the right, and that can really help KPA draw some fouls. As Orlando attacks the basket, hits a floater, but she misses it, and KPA goes off running, as we expected through Natalie. And Rose with her move. Passes to Bridget, who fakes the post, and oh my!
The legs gave in.
The legs gave in the final moment. You can see her as Esther Butali misses, and this is incredible. The ladies today are missing so many baskets.
Too many chippies. I think they're tired. Every sub that KPA has taken, the player has been found there, given a lot of water. So it means they're really exhausted.
Gets with a step back 3, misses that one. Rebound by Equity. Sama tries to push the ball all the way. She's experienced good hands by Natalie, and it goes off of Esther. That's a good hustle play. 24-20, 5 minutes to go in the first quarter. KPA still lead. Linda Orlando is substituted by Denise. Denise comes back inside. What do you think Denise brings to Equity when she's on the floor?
Just grit and poise. That's all, grit and poise, especially on the offensive end. Whenever somebody is overwhelmed, she takes up the point guard position, plays, arranges her players accordingly. On defense, of course, most of the guards are shorter than her, and therefore she overwhelmed them in terms of her sliding ability and just being able to stop them from doing what they're supposed to do.
Okay. As you can see, KPA now running the 4 outs. And Rose, that's her strength to drive the hoop. As she goes to the beautiful reverse layup, and unfortunately, she misses that reverse layup. As referee makes another call on the rebounds.
Bridget Nanzala picking up her second foul, I guess.
It should be her second foul right now.
Yeah. We can't see, but two fouls.
Yes, it's her second foul. With the umpire at the table not helping us much. Good defensive pressure there by Georgia. Georgia Abiambo, who's not known for her defense, but she put incredible pressure on defense. as Samba goes in and uses her experience to scoop that off the glass as Equity close back 24-22 is the lead. Have you noticed Georgia hasn't taken a single three today?
I don't think that she's been in a position to do that.
But I also think the teammates are not looking like this jump shot right now by Ann Rose. She had Georgia wide open at the three, but she opted for the jump shot. Mercy with the ball. That was a tough high low that she was trying right there. To Esther. Esther Butali is actually an expert at scoring at that spot, below the basket.
She's still jittery.
Subs Ann Rose and puts back Celine. Celine is actually one of the best penetration players in KPA, in the league.
In the league generally.
And Coach Marina also goes with a small lineup, puts out Mercy, and brings back Hilda in. So both teams are equally matched up at this moment as Betty takes a wild shot that misses everything. I think the players are now trying to look for their own shots because the teammates are not creating shots for them.
Yeah.
KPA should run sets that give them the screens. They had a good play they ran yesterday that gave them a double screen, and we haven't seen that action happening today. As that's a good drive and drop there to Esther. Esther, like I was mentioning to you earlier, that's her strength. She scores below the rim as Equity Hawks tied this game 24 apiece with 3:18 to go in the second quarter of the second game of the finals. And Natalie takes a drive and is fouled. Fouled by Denise, reaching foul. So it's 2 free throws for Natalie. As a matter of fact, Natalie can do this all game and Equity will have like almost no answer for that.
Yeah, she doesn't have no answer. I don't think anybody can keep her. If Hilda guards her, and that means if Hilda is guarding her, it means the other guards don't have any substantial defensive players on them. So if Hilda switches to her, then she just gets the ball to either Betty or to Ching Ching, and it's going to be a disaster for Equity.
Yes, indeed, because Hilda has to guard Celine Okumu at this point because Celine is a penetrating guard, very athletic, so you need to do that on a matchup. KPA regained the lead 25-24 as Celine fouls. That is a foul as Celine. You're too close to your man. You reached in and blocked her hands. It's an experienced move what Hilda just did there as she goes to the line. Brenda Ngishi checks in to the pleasure of Bosire. She's in with 3 minutes to go. Let her use her experience and savvy.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why he doesn't also like using her is because of when they put pressure, full court pressure, having that she has lost her pace, she usually struggles.
Yeah.
That's why you can notice he's put her in with Natalie at the same time, so Natalie can bring the ball up in case of any pressure. Yep. As Hilda misses both free throws, which is very unlikely for Hilda. She doesn't usually miss free throws, and that's rather unfortunate. So KPA is still in the same 4 out, 1 in. Offense, both teams are matched up squarely. There goes Natalie with the long three. There have been so many wild threes shot today, why do the players not drive and kick?
The players are not, I think they're mentally not here. I think yesterday's game sapped all their energy, and it's a bit taxing, especially when you play back-to-back games. And, if you don't have mental toughness, then you tend to lose your focus and stuff like that.
Yes, indeed. Once we get better sponsors in the future for the league in general, we shall be able to maybe rest one day in between to allow teams to recoup and to regain their mental focus and drive for the game. I can see Coach Maina has also sent Belinda misses point blank after a very good move. Brenda Ngishi, she was wide open there. She passes up the shot, takes the next one, misses it, but it's okay. And on the rebound is Natalie that gets the ball back for KPA, gives them a second chance shot. Now they want to go inside to Bridget. Is Bridget going to make it? Bridget has got a problem finishing today. Has she lost her legs already? We'll see.
It's exhausting. It was the same story yesterday. She missed about 6 very easy chippies under the rim.
Betty Kananu steals that ball, that double team, and Celine runs the floor. That is another wild pass and a turnover by Natalie. 1 minute 38 to go. KPA leads 25-24. And Busiro, you are right. I look at the players, they look tired. Both teams, they don't look ready.
Can you imagine if this series goes to game 5? It means they're going to play on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday back to back. How do you think they'll be on Monday?
That's an offensive foul by Denise. That's a bad screen by Denise. That's a moving screen. It's not necessary for you to move. Knew that was already gone. Well, if that game goes to game 5, that series goes to game 5, it'll be a total disaster to watch game 5. The federation might have to make an amendment and maybe skip a day or make it the next weekend back in Nairobi from Mombasa, because the teams will not have the right energy. We're just seeing their pace already on simply 2 games, so we can only imagine after they would have had 4 games in their legs how they can play, as Betty Kananu is stripped as she tries to drive to the basket, but Celine hustles back on that play and finds Betty in the corner for the 3.
No legs.
Short.
No
They
legs.
have no legs. None of the players have legs.
No
But
legs.
this is where I was telling you about the coaching aspect. At this point, you haven't heard any of the coaches mentioning the legs to their players, but you have to mention it to the players. You as a coach, it's your duty to remind them of what they're not doing
Fundamentals
right.
are,
You
yeah.
have to, because mentally, as they keep missing, they get frustrated. So you got to remind them it's your legs you're not using. Use your legs and push. Then they remember and be like, oh, coach, okay, you're right. As he picks up a foul on Celine trying to attack the basket. So it's very, very important. We overcoach in the sense that we want to run the plays to the letter.
Yeah.
But we don't understand that the real coaching is our players' psychology.
Yeah, exactly.
What is happening? She's sending you left. What is happening? You're not using your legs. What is happening? The floor is open to the left. That's what you should be talking about. Not insisting on running plays the whole time.
Exactly.
You must insist on the players' mentality. With 21 seconds to go, KPA holding. Surely they won the last shot of this offense. It's 25-14 as the second quarter winds down. Natalie holds the ball on the top of the key. Now she's attacking, just as we thought. Long pass to Betty Kananu. And the wild 3 is missed. 3.1 seconds to go. Equity ball. Coach Maina draws up a timeout. Does he have an inbound play from his side that is going to help him score right now?
Oh,
because the ball doesn't advance in the first quarter.
It's amazing. It's amazing, Abel. I don't understand what that timeout is all about. I have no clue what it's about. But maybe he has got a play where he can score in 3 seconds on his own end.
Let us have faith in Coach Maina and Coach Carrie Odambo. They are known to be magicians.
They've got enough experience here.
So, and they have a lot of experience. These guys have been in most difficult situations and drawn up big plays. So most likely the 2 of them, and we can also see the Coach Clay Odor, former Equity Hawks men's coach for the last 4 years.
He's now former. Who is taken up from Coach Clay Kata?
The information is that Coach Carrie Odambo has already come on board to replace the team, because we heard that the Cooperative Bank is organizing a farewell for the coach in wishing him well on his new task at Equity. So
do you know that Coach Carey has been at Cooperative Bank from 1991?
Wow. The man deserves a statue.
That is 27 years.
27 years in many titles.
He started off as a player, and then after some time he went to the coaching staff. He was an assistant coach for very many years.
Let us watch the play. And the play seems to work as Hilda gets the ball. That was pretty close. That was a pretty well-ran play. KPA kind of surprised me on this play because they allowed this to happen.
Because they went full court pressure. Why did they go full court pressure?
It's amazing why they did that. Halftime 25-24, KPA leads.
So ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to African Nazarene University, where we're going to have a chat with Joe, the fantastic Joe, who can juggle 5 balls with both his hands, his head, his mouth, and his legs. Welcome.
Thank you.
So far, how do you think the game has gone in your view?
Well, the game is getting better, but we would like to see a little bit more skill because they are turning the ball over so much, which tell me that they are not really practicing as much as they need to during the regular team practice.
Okay, and so defensively, let's speak about the defense. So for example, KPA were in white. They have been playing man-to-man. And what do you think defensively they're not doing very well to be able to counter Equity?
I think what happened is the other team, they are rushing the ball. They should wait for the defense to set up before they can move, because if they try to move with the same intensity on offense, that's why they're ending up with so many turnovers.
Okay, excellent. And for Equity, which is the team in orange, what do you think is letting them down in terms of they've got 2 twin towers, I'm not very sure that they're using them accordingly. So what do you think is letting them down in terms of the way they are playing?
I think they are getting open, but the only problem is they are not finishing the move because they're making very good move, but somehow they just cannot make a layup. But you have to make a layup because there's no point of making a good move and you don't finish.
That's correct. And I think you've spent quite a number of years out of the country, abroad and in America and especially. So what do you think is the fundamental difference between our game and the game in the US?
I think what happened is the practice outside regular practice. Because if you go to the States, many a time you see a lot of people, they practice more on their own. So when they come back to the team, the coaches only have to put the skills together. But what is happening here is the players expect to be coached during regular practice, but there's not enough time to be able to put all the stuff together.
There you go. Players out there, you have had Big Joe saying very clearly, it's important that after team practice, you put in your own practice. So ensure that you can be able to put in 1 or 2 hours of skill development every day. Thank you very much. End of second quarter, KPA 25 points, Equity Hawks 24 points. It has been a very, very close game with very many misses, especially from the KPA side in transition and from the Equity side from the post play, good movement to get ball in the post, but they're still missing very many laps. Abel, what do you think the third quarter holds for us in this particular game?
Well, I believe that based on how the game went even yesterday, it's in the third quarter that KPA actually stretched the lead, because if you recall, I believe at halftime they were even. I think the scores were even. So it shall be the same thing according to me. I expect KPA to come out swinging immediately from the onset. The only real difference in today's game is what you mentioned earlier, which is Mercy Wanyama doesn't have foul trouble, which means that she's in a position to play a more intense game consistently, as we see Hilda taking that drive and Bridget on the block shot where the referee thinks that it's a foul, and she's going to the line right now. So I expect them to run, and that makes the third foul for Bridget Nanzala, which means both big men for KPA have 3 fouls. This is a very, very important factor for this game moving forward, because all Equity has to do is take the ball to the basket and hope that something good happens. Most of the time they'll be fouled, as Hilda buries the first free throw to tie the game at 25 as this second quarter shot starts. She misses her second one, and Felmas, exactly as we're talking, can't play full defense. She was real close to her 4th foul. As she runs the floor, we talked about this, she will keep doing the same thing. Equity Hawks transition defense is not okay. You are supposed to recover in the middle of the floor before you explode out to your man, and Equity Hawks are leaving players wide open as Felmas makes that basket. Ball inside to Belinda. This is all they need to do at all times. As Belinda misses a point-blank shot, she has to capitalize on that, because Felmas having those fouls, she will not play her as they leave Betty wide open. Again. Yes, indeed. She fades. And that's a double dribble that was missed by the referee. Did you see that double dribble that was missed by the referee? And Bridget cannot handle the ball. Bridget has kind of been she has basically helped Equity, as we'd say in other terms, in regards to how she's been playing. If you've noticed,
it's crazy. It's crazy. She cannot touch. She can't hold passes. She can't score baskets. She can't defend anybody. It's amazing that she's playing for those many minutes. Is it a matter of experience, or what do you think is in the mind of KPA
experience
coach?
and defense, because she can use her size. She's been helping him on the boards a lot, as Natalie takes it to the hole and gets fouled by Samba Mjumba. This is what we talked about since yesterday. Samba has this natural tendency. You've had a chance to coach her. She likes to reach in. So why doesn't KPA systematically attack the basket whenever she's guarding somebody?
Correct. It's amazing.
The coaches didn't make this read since yesterday.
She should be on 4 fouls now, because with that kind of attack play, and in the first half, like you mentioned very clearly, she was guarding Betty Kanano. We know Betty Kanano has got the ability to put the ball on the floor and attack the paint and draw fouls or score the layup. So I don't understand why.
And amazingly, it's her first foul. Yeah. First foul of the game.
Exactly. But I still have a problem, Abel, with the fact that KPA are not putting pressure on Equity at all. They're not putting pressure on Equity, so Equity are still able to go up the floor easily without any pressure.
Yes, indeed. 27 ups. as KPA fails to score the fast break and Felmas goes up. The referees have decided not to make calls at this point. Let's hope they maintain that on both sides of the floor, as Bridget almost picked up a foul and Samba sends a wild pass flying into the fans. She turns the ball over. 7 minutes, 58 seconds to go. KPA bringing the ball up. Just as you said, it's amazing. Why has KPA not increased the intensity of the game?
They are making Equity play their game. Walk up the floor, pass the ball into the paint, dominate the posts.
So here we can see KPA players seem a bit out of sorts right now. They are not communicating. Betty and Felmas just push the ball on a fast break for Equity at this moment, and it's Equity that is running fast breaks, ironically.
Yeah, it's amazing because they're the slower team, so it's for them to knock up the floor, but in the whole game they've been running a fast break much better and more efficiently than KPA, and that's the kind of game we expect from KPA, not from Equity.
As Equity takes the lead in this second half, Hilda makes both free throws, 29-27, and Equity goes with a high defense, the same high defense we expected KPA to be doing, and that's what Equity has thrown out as Natalie goes coast to coast and turns the ball over, which leads to an easy fast break again by Hilda Indasi, who misses all by herself. Oh my! And this is one weakness I found in last year's finals that is happening again with KPA, where Natalie comes on transition. Instead of taking advantage of the numbers, she holds the ball and waits to run a play. And this was one big problem, and this is what it leads to a turnover. And this is how they lost the series last year, because they kept doing the same thing, not taking advantage of numbers, always wanting to stop and run the sets as Samba Mjomba finds that backboard again, and Equity takes the lead, extends the lead 31-27. It's a big mistake, according to me. KP as a transition team, they should stop holding the ball to try to run sets every single time, because basketball is not about sets. Basketball is about players playing. So we can see Felmas there fighting in the paint as she takes it strong to the basket and scores over Belinda.
Yesterday, Abel, even when they're running the sets for KP, apart from the high pick and roll, there's the elevator screen up here, where Betty went through 4 times and scored.
Which is what I was referring to. I mean, it's amazing that they have not gone back to that elevator screen. It's amazing what they're doing. As Orlando takes a long 2 and makes that long 2 points, it is 33-29 for Equity. KPA is not really running what is to their advantage at this moment. As Felmas takes that jump shot and makes that long 2. She's caught fire, this little young one.
She's mad.
She's the little bit. She's mad. 31-33. She's mad. She's ready to play. Mercy gets the ball. You got a double team now. Offensive foul by Mercy. That was quite evident, Mercy. You did not need to do that. That was not very smart of her. And now she picks up a foul. That was good defense by Felmas.
I like the way Felmas is playing. She's gotten some points. She's realized what kind of trouble she is in, what she needs to do. She's taken a nice layup here. She's on her transitions and hit a jump shot. Now she's thrown up on that side.
Yes, indeed. She's done it all for them in these last few minutes. As Mercy picks up that foul and Brenda Angishi comes in and runs the points. As they go back to Felmas, because that's what has been working.
They need to run that elevator screen play they had yesterday.
As Bridget takes the corner and walks. Why did she stop, Nasiri? She had beaten her man. All she had to do is take 2 steps and go up. Is she panicking?
She's panicking. That's why I'm wondering why she's playing that long.
5:26 to go. She's there because of height, because they don't have another tall player. The coach is not trusting the rookie.
She just needs to get the rule in for 2 minutes, give a pep talk to Bridget, and go back in.
Plus, you have to allow the rookie to pick up her 5 fouls either way. It doesn't really matter. Mercy trying to get her work. She knows Felmas has the foul trouble, so she's going to work. 35-31 are the scores right now. As Natalie takes a drive, is she going to score? And one, that's a good basket by Natalie.
They need to be based attacking mode.
The whole time.
The whole time.
This is all they need to do, but it's amazing to us how, with all the experience the coaches have, as Samba picks up her second foul, 35-33, 5 minutes to go in this third quarter. Equity Hawks lead and control this second quarter. And it's amazing. Things happen, and we can't call for the repetition. Why?
I don't get it. I don't understand myself. I'm a bit lost. We are supposed to do the same thing over and over again until they stop us from doing it. That should be our principle. Simple. If it's working, you keep it working.
Yes, indeed. As you can see, KPA keeps going back to Felmas. You know?
Exactly. It's very simple. She's hot. She's on fire.
Alanda with the 3, short. KPA with the rebound. To Bridget, and Bridget turns the ball over. Bridget is really not into this game.
No Felmas.
As Belinda scoops one in, 37-33. Wild long shot by Betty Kananu. It's a highly unnecessary shot at this moment. KPA players are panicking and they're all over the place. The game is still long. They don't need to panic. They need to stay focused. As Belinda tries the back door and misses. It's amazing how many times we've missed below the basket in this game.
It's exhausting to watch Belinda and Bridget.
And that's Natalie with a nice slash one more time. Simple. 37-35, equity lead with 4 minutes to go. It's amazing how Belinda and Bridget can miss. And that's because these players have an over-reliance on being called for fouls.
Yeah.
They do not try to score. They are trying to throw themselves out there and get a foul call. And that's not smart by any measure. As Samba takes that 3 again, this one rattles out. Mercy tries to square up. Good defense there by KPA big men. As Mercy fouls, and Mercy picks up that foul. Is that Mercy's 3rd foul?
That's a foul.
And Mercy is going right back into what she was doing yesterday. And she's going to get herself out of the game by doing frustration fouls. The referee doesn't have to make every call for you.
She's lucky. 2 fouls.
She's got 2 fouls right now. Okay, 2 fouls. So the offensive foul was her first foul.
Yeah.
All right, but she mustn't foul anymore because we're already in the 3rd quarter. It's 3:40 to go. They're leading by 2 points, 37-35. Equity Hawks lead. And that's the play. That's the play we're talking about. None of them can stay in front of her. Only Hilda, and if Hilda does it, she'll pick up fouls herself.
Exactly.
And she won't be able to be efficient on offense. So it's a very important factor, and let's believe that the coach has understood what we're talking about in terms of the game analysis, and he's trying to apply that because that's all that needs to happen. 36-37. And she's cutting down the lead with 3:30 to go. At least the ladies' game is living up to the expectation on both days, where both ladies are playing hard. Equity, as the defending champ, is not just going to bow down and lose to KPA, and KPA believes they're here. KPA wants to actually write history books here. This is very interesting. They want to be the first team to win the league unbeaten. Totally unbeaten.
That would be amazing, huh? That would be amazing.
It has never happened before. As Belinda takes another offensive rebound and extends the lead again, 39-37. Equity lead with 3 minutes to go. Felma seems to be a bit disturbed on defense because of her foul trouble.
Yeah.
So she can't go for some of those balls.
She plays aggressive as she wants to do.
And they run the play again, and there goes Natalie on that wing. Drops the pass to Felma, who knocks down that jump shot.
Perfect.
39 ups, that's a very beautiful play. But I still think Natalie could have just finished that layup. She didn't need that pass. She has to trust herself finishing on that side. And now, there goes Belinda trying to force the play as Natalie fouls her. Natalie picks up that foul. That's a smart foul by Natalie.
I don't think it was necessary because she was in the middle of 3 people. She had been triple teamed. I don't think she'd have gone enough there to score.
The issue is Felmas liking to block might have been tempted to swing at it. And so you don't want it to go up because Felmas will swing at it. You know, this is your hope that she misses those free throws. As she misses the first one with 2:34 to go. Scores are tied at 39. These ladies have not really left each other much, except for the 7-point lead that KPA had at one point in the middle of the 2nd quarter. She makes 1 out of 2, so they lead 40-39. KPA should basically go back to the same play. But why is the KPA coach sending Felmas on the ball side now? Why is he changing plays? Why is he changing plays? It is very amazing to me, Musiri. He just called a new play where he wanted Felmas to go on the ball side, and that's the same side that Natalie has been beating Equity on. As we can see, Belinda is subbed here, and Sue comes in. I think Belinda did a good job when she was on the floor.
He has actually corrected her because I think that's a mistake that she made herself. So he's telling her to go that side.
But he has asked, look at where he has placed Felmas, or he wants And he's telling Bridget
Yeah,
to...
that
Oh,
was a
he's...
mistake.
Oh, exactly. It was a
It was a
mistake, exactly. All the way.
It was a player mistake. So
Yes.
he actually called her aside and actually told her next time go to the opposite post.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, he told her to start there, basically,
Yes,
because
but-
he wants her to start as a decoy
Yes.
and then slide away as she looks at the
Exactly.
ball. In case the help stays, she gets the drop pass.
Exactly.
Because
So
that's the
actually-
only place she runs.
Exactly. And actually, the idea I think they want to run is that Natalie needs to get the ball in the middle there, and all the help comes out. She kick the ball to Betty, who's at the corner here.
Yes.
Take the 3. So it'll be Felmas's responsibility to give that back spin
Yes.
for the ball to get to the corner to do.
Yes, indeed. And that's a very smart play because Equity doesn't seem to have a solution for Natalie's drive so far.
Exactly.
They keep calling the same play. Let's see if Coach Maina has something up his sleeve. As Natalie has been shooting very well her free throws, Coach Maina calls a timeout. I'm sure he wants to draw up something defensively to adjust to what KPA is running. Scores of 41-40 with 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. KPA ladies are leading, and they're leading the series, this best-of-5 series, 1-0.
Interesting times we see KPA taking a 1-point lead into this timeout. What do you think has worked for KPA so far in maintaining that pace? Although, at one point they were 7 points up, but now it's a 1-point game.
Well, it's like KPA is a grinding team, so they've made it difficult for Equity to score and stretch the lead. Equity has taken advantage of a couple of turnovers and the 3 fouls by the post players, but most of the time when they stay focused, it's been hard for Equity to score inside because Equity wants to score most of the baskets on the inside. Apart from Samba's 2 threes, they haven't really shot the ball. As you can see, that jump shot by Felmas. Felmas has picked up in the third quarter like she also did yesterday. So far in this third quarter, we've seen the jump shot. We've seen her scoring 2 times at the basket. We saw her score the layup. She has 8 points so far in this quarter alone, and that's what she's been doing. As we can see there, Natalie doing what she's supposed to be doing in this game to really cause damage in Equity's defense by attacking the basket and scoring this array of layups that Equity has no solution for unless they send a double team or triple team on her. That will leave her teammates open, as we saw in one of the plays where she drove and dropped the pass there. That's what this play right there, and dropped the pass to Felmas. So she can really do it all for KPA, and she's the one that Equity should really be worried about. And let's see what's going to happen right now off of this timeout when they play their next defense.
Abel, once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors, Enlightened Sports and Events Network, who have sponsored these finals for the tune of 1 million shillings, covering referees' fees, logistics, prizes, and also payment for the venues.
Now that's a very good thing that has happened because we always need sponsors. We need them to help us play this game. As Sue takes that 3 and misses everything. I see she's come back in this second half to try to shoot. As I was mentioning to you in Kampala, she actually shot and helped them win a crucial game against the defending champion in Uganda, UCU. So if she goes back into that shooting, she might be a problem to KPA. As you see Natalie running that same play, but this time going opposite. Sue picks up a very easy foul.
So you've seen the adjustment that they've made. They've put the knees on Natalie because she's bigger and she can fly better than Samba. But I think
there is a bonus.
She should not use the screen. She should keep attacking that dribble on the weak side.
I totally agree with you because Denise is turning on her, but Denise, and it's fast, but she'll still pick up the foul because she'll want to bump.
Exactly.
Because she's coming there to be physical on her. So it's okay. Just force the issue, as they say in sports sometimes. As Felmas makes the first free throw, 42-40. This is amazing, this young girl. At the end of these finals, this young girl is in strong position to be the MVP of these finals.
For sure,
what do you think?
For sure. She has played with poise. She has been in the paint. She has been dominant. She's grabbing rebounds, running the floor, blocking people. I think she's ripe material for the national team, as a matter of fact.
Yes, indeed. I spoke to her and she was giving me stories of Angola and telling me how at some point during the tournament she felt like telling her teammates to just give her the ball and she plays by herself. And a big 3 there by Hilda Ndasi. And this is what players of her caliber can do. They can usually wake up and have these big plays for you. And let's see if Betty Kananu is going to respond to her. She misses the 3. She hasn't been able to make her 3s. Maybe Coach Ojuku should try Georgia, as Betty plays great defense there on Hilda on the transition. Don't you think this was a foul over the head right now by Denise?
Because Denise went over the head, over her back, as a matter of fact.
Yes, indeed. It's amazing that international referee Juma Kent can actually miss such a call at this point. The scores the tie at 43 with 48.8 seconds to go in this game. I was saying I think coach should try Georgia Adhiambo as his shooter right now, but I know he's focused on the defensive play. Now, I wanted to come to something that you had questioned earlier, was why Bridget on the floor. You should pay attention to the matchup between Bridget and Mercy right now. Bridget is literally making it difficult as Natalie dazzles through the defense one more time and drops that 2-point. 45, 43, 25 seconds to go in this third quarter as KPA lead. It has been a literal slugfest between these two teams. Nobody being able to really stretch themselves out as the double team is forced and the ball is hit off of Samba Mjomba's leg. Bridget there with great defense. She knocks the ball off of Samba Mjomba's leg. Samba is completely shocked because she didn't expect this to happen when the mismatch was created. And this time the pick actually worked because the mismatch was there. There was a switch, but Samba failed to handle the ball properly as KPA has the last possession, 7 seconds to go. And Natalie takes it in and passes for a jump shot by Celine. That is another foul that the referees are missing. It's incredible how they can miss some of these calls, and it's point blank in front of them, and it should be quite frustrating to the team coaches as the third quarter ends 45-43. KPA leads. Osiri, your thoughts? Fourth quarter, what's going to happen?
Fourth quarter, I think I'm still insisting that the KPA needs to play a full court game. You cannot allow this game to be a seesaw. That you lead by 2 points, and the game is even. The other team leads by 2 points, because down the stretch, it is KPA who are going to lose because of their falling situation. So they need to make it a bit more quicker, press a little higher. For Equity, they need to just continue what they're doing, because they get the ball in the paint and actually drawing either fouls or baskets. But my problem is that Mercy and Belinda are missing too many baskets under the rim. Too many. And therefore, even if you draw the foul and you can't shoot the free throw, then it becomes a problem.
And you got to note that right now, KPA is now fine. There's no foul trouble. They got 3 fouls in the fourth quarter. That's okay.
Yep.
As you can see, Felmas has been doing it all for KPA in this third quarter. She carried this team single-handedly, drawing fouls on players, attacking the basket. And KPA has done a good job of just feeding the 15, Felmas Adhiambo, who has just been a thorn in the foot of Equity. And this is one of the rare good moments there for Hilda with that 3-point shot that she scored that brought them back to 43 ups at that point.
And that play where you can see
that drive from Natalie just shows you that, and that's what she's been doing all third quarter. The third quarter, the story has just been Natalie and Felmas for KPA. They've been running that show all by themselves, and for Equity, I believe Hilda has been good and Belinda has been also instrumental in this third quarter. Mercy wasn't pretty good, and on the negative side, she picked up her 2 fouls in that third quarter. One was a frustration foul, so she needs to get back to her poise into her game. But I would like you to really watch out that matchup, because Bridget has done a good job of bumping her and pushing her, and the refs have done a good job of ignoring the players in their legal matchup, because there's been no unsportsmanlike play. It's not an elbow in the face. It's bumping into each other, so it's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah, that's correct. That's correct. And I hope this fourth quarter will live up to the expectation, be full of excitement, full of magical plays, as I call them. But most of all, I don't want to see any, ugly incidents happening up, because with a 2-point game in a finals, normally the tension gets very high, and there's a possibility of the game slightly getting out of hand.
Yes, indeed. We call it in Swahili ngware. The teams resort to funny underlying tactics to try to win the game. We don't want that. This game has been beautiful so far. And here comes the start of the fourth quarter. It's the moment for Equity Hawks, defending champions, to get back into the series, or for KPA to take a comfortable 2-0 lead to Mombasa, as Denise forces the issue on that drive. Mercy on a big rebound, but that was very good defense there. But nobody could pick up the ball except for Belinda, who picks up from right where she left in the third quarter to tie the game at 45 for Equity Hawks. There goes that same play. Where is Celine going with the basketball? She goes straight into the defense and turns the ball over. The coach should plan to shoot her at that corner to take a direct jump shot, as Mercy's fed the ball inside, and the double team of course comes, and it's a jump ball situation. It is KPA ball. Good play. Mercy should not try to force the issue. She should turn and look at the basket every time she touches the basketball. That will allow her to see what is there for her. Coach might not discuss it with the referee, but I don't think the referee has anything to do with this. Mercy should be more alert. There was a double team that came by. So now you've seen an interesting fact. So Bridget is guarded by Mercy, and that is a good drive by Celine, and she scores the basket and one. That is her strong point, Celine. Okay.
That's the only thing KPA need to do, attack the paint with the dribble, because the players of Equity cannot keep up with them physically, but running and sliding they cannot. They'll all reach out and do fouls. And you've seen from the third quarter when Natalie was driving the lane all the time. He ended up with a basket or a foul.
Yes, indeed. Is that the third foul by Mercy? That was Mercy's foul? It was the third foul by somebody, whoever picked up that foul. Celine makes the free throw. It's a 3-point play. 48-45, 9 minutes to go in this fourth quarter as KPA take that lead. That's that pick and roll that they're looking for. Samba with the three. Thelmas with a big rebound. That falls out, and Mercy picks up another foul. That is an unfortunate foul by Mercy. But yes, indeed, it is the right call by the referee.
Three fouls, that's a third foul.
Mercy picks a third foul. So I think Belinda also has 3 fouls. And then here's goes. And Celine taking a strong drive one more time. Celine is refusing to shoot the ball and driving into an array of players as Natalie picks up a foul, a blocking foul on Hilda. That's a good foul and transition with 8:37 to go. You have to stop the break as we talked about yesterday, and she did it in a very legal manner as if she's playing the ball.
She also had 3 fouls, but have you noticed that on offense, KPA have changed a little bit? It's no longer the high pick and roll, the post players coming up, the high post and getting the ball, and then creating the play by themselves.
Yes, indeed, as Thelmas rejects the drive by Denise and sends it to the fans out there and tells her this is not happening on my watch.
Not in my house, not in my house.
This little girl has filled all the stat sheets today, from assists to block shots to baskets, as Belinda tries one more time. Betty takes the rebound. But why is Natalie there looking for the basketball? She could have simply filled in the lane. Natalie with the ball right now. She's setting up the play again one more time. But she's got Samba. You got to read that. And that's why, as you can notice, Mercy stays behind as Celine goes for her layup, but she misses that. That is rather unfortunate because she really had the lane open. And the 2 post players for KPA, for Equity also have 3 fouls. So it's kind of a problem for each of them to play defense. As you can see, Bridget there making it hard for Mercy. The double team came through. Samba, is Samba going to make that 3? That's a long 3, she misses. And Natalie takes the ball. KPA should run and finish this layup. That's a great pass. Celine with the layup. 50-45. This is what you've been talking about, Bosiri. If they play on open court with 7:40 to go, they will have an advantage as Hilda uses her experience and takes it back to them. 47-50. This is what, and we talk about it because Hilda has that experience and she will take it to you at all times. She will never back down. Right now, what you're noticing is that Equity has decided to live with this jump shot by Bridget because they know there's a drive by Natalie. So the coach has planted. So if I'm Anthony Ojuku, I will switch the post. I will then put Thelmas on top because she can make that jump shot and force them to come and play that and leave Bridget on the baseline. As Belinda scoops and spins but misses. That was a good spin, by the way. And that long pass that we talked about. Thelmas, 1-2. Sportsman foul by Hilda. That was a good job by Thelmas. And that was smart to put that dribble down because she was too far if she had taken off immediately.
And I like the fact that she's a post player who runs from block to block.
Yes, indeed.
The right drive.
Yes,
and
indeed.
It's very easy for you to pass the ball when the pass is given an outlet. It's easy to get the ball to her to score the basket. And
yes.
you know, many of our players in Kenya, most of our players, of our post players in Kenya, don't know the fact that one of their responsibilities on transition is to run from block to block. Rim to rim, as a matter of fact.
Yes, indeed, they don't. They usually think it's only the guards. Now, this is a very interesting thing that has happened. Coach Maina has just subbed Belinda to put in Linda Alando. Is that the right sub to make at this point in this game?
I think his thought process is that KPA are too swift for him.
As you can see that foul by Hilda, she literally pulled Thelmas by the arm, and that's what the referee recognized. Look at it here again one more time. And that's why they call it a sportsman-like foul, because you can't do that as a player is going to the basket on a fast break. Well,
he's also gone 4 out 1 in, so that he can be able to match up to KPA's people. But I don't think
KPA's positioning. So KPA is running that same set. This time they've sent Betty to the corner as Natalie almost turns the ball over and manages to regain it. Celine has a wide open lane but decides not to use it. I think that's an ill-advised 3 by Natalie. She doesn't need the three as Hilda takes matters into her own hand, coast to coast, and drops that in. 49-51. Hilda Indasi. She has always been super, and she's doing what she's always used to doing, which is taking things on as Natalie throws a turnover. Natalie seems to be losing focus at the halfway mark, close to the halfway mark of this fourth quarter. What do you think?
Yeah, but I think it was the idea was good because there was a backdoor cut, there was a back pick here, a backdoor cut. It's not that the pass was a bit too low. It went directly to the defender's hand.
Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. What I mean by that is just her demeanor in the game. She has given away the two drives that she could have taken. She almost turned the ball over on the dribble there. Sometimes it's a bit of fatigue.
That could be fatigue. It's exhaustion. So she maybe needs like 2 seconds on the bench. Let her, her faculty is working right back in the court. Sometimes it's important for coaches to take risks with their substitutions. Your good player is exhausted. Let's give them 1 minute on the bench. It's enough for the player to relax and breathe in and get the whole focus of them back.
Yes, indeed. I used to know this coach will love doing that. He will just pull you out for a second, you sit, and then he brings you back in. Asamba takes another long three. 49-51, 5:55 to go. We still have a whole ball game to play. This is the fourth quarter of the second game of the finals between KPA and defending champions Equity Hawks as Natalie crosses her man over, goes to the basket and feeds Felmas for an easy bucket off the glass. This play has been money for them, 53-49. KPA has found a play that helps them click, and it's for Equity Hawks to now figure out what works for them, apart from Hilda attacking the paint one more time.
Hilda is on fire. She's got.
And that's what she does. Hilda Ndasi doing her job, taking it to the basket. She is not going to lay down flat and just die. 51-53, KPA still leads.
Hilda has literally carried Equity on her back this whole second half. It's amazing.
Yes, indeed. And as Natalie takes that drive, and that was a foul one more time, but the referee missed that call and made the out-of-bounds call, but Betty Kananu was out of bounds effectively. Why would you be out of bounds as a player? You need to have court awareness and know where you're standing at all times when the game is going on.
Yeah, sometimes, in the course of running up and down the baseline especially, it's very easy to get lost.
Yes, indeed. Asamba goes in, passes it to Hilda. Hilda has been the hot player as she draws the foul from Betty Kananu.
But a very big problem with this refereeing. You cannot be seeing things on one side and not seeing things on the other side. That was a clear foul on Natalie right here. He ignored it. On that side where there was no foul, you give a foul to Hilda. That's crazy.
Yes, indeed. Third foul. Finally, he has put in Georgia. I was telling you earlier, I thought he should put in Georgia. I think she can make a couple of threes and open this game. Betty's not really composed today. She doesn't seem to have woken up on the right side as Hilda misses her first free throw. Hilda and Darcy, those free throws are very important for Equity Hawks at this moment. Equity needs everything that they can get at this moment. So that misses. She misses both free throws as Felmas grabs that strong rebound and KPA comes running. Again, why did Celine stop at this point?
She'd have gone ahead all the way to the basket.
Yes, indeed.
That's
how they run that staggered break that we talked about. That leaves Felmas a wide open layup because they have to anticipate on the shooter. And this is the play we were talking about that they should run because it worked for them yesterday. And Felmas, the little beast, she is really taking over this game. This girl has come out from nowhere. She has grown into a perennial superstar in this league as Mercy takes a strong rebound and draws the fourth foul on Bridget. Bridget can take that foul, that's okay. It's 4 minutes to go, 51-55 they lead. At least she's just trying to tell Mercy she's not going to get anything. And if you've noticed, for the last 5 minutes or so, Mercy hasn't scored a single basket.
She's been bumped and grinding in the paint. She's not going to position where she's going to get the ball. Every time she gets the ball, she's never done. So there's no opportunity for her to make easy baskets. And that's what I keep telling players. You have to also be as clever as Felmas. As a post player, you run up down the floor and you get the ball and you can't score. Then be able to go in transition. Because in transition, you can never be stopped. You'll be like a freshman. But if Mercy ran down the floor once or twice and got the ball Felmas is getting, who can stop him? Nobody.
Yes, indeed, as Mercy Wanyama makes both of her free throws, 53-55, to cut the lead, KPA by 2 with 4 minutes to go. We all believe KPA is going to go back to that play as Natalie no decoy and drives and draws. Another foul on Denise. That was a very smart play by her. While Equity was trying to set their defense, waiting for the stagger screen, she read that play and attacked them. And that's what you call an intelligent player. This is what experience is all about. Is reading the situations, is knowing what's going to happen next, and to be able to play with that. And she made the right read at this point, and she attacked the basket, drawing 2 fouls. That's the 3rd foul by Denise. So currently speaking, Equity's team, most of the players out there have 3 fouls each. So KPA is at par with them, and they can keep attacking the basket.
And I can see Juma Kent, as he did yesterday, chasing away some fans from above the rim on the far end. I don't know whether they have been rattling the rim, or why is he always obsessed with people standing around the rim?
Well, Juma Kent is as a referee, is very obsessed by many things that have nothing to do with the game in itself. A lot of the times when he's officiating, he's notorious as a referee for that. He's very much preoccupied by outside stuff opposed to inside. So it's not a surprise to me as a player, as a coach, to see him doing that. And that's sometimes one of the biggest issues when he's officiating a game, as Natalie makes both free throws. I mean,
her free throw shooting has been superb.
Superb. I mean, if this, I'll say this is a situation in Kenya for once where you can have a co-MVP, because it's Natalie and Felmas. Just the way the two were ranked in Africa as the top guys, as Samba Mjumba, all over the place. And this is going to be a jump ball situation. And this is Equity ball, I believe. Yeah, this jump ball is Equity ball at this moment.
No. The table says it's KPA ball.
Oh, it's KPA ball, because Equity started the quarter.
Yeah.
The 4th quarter, yes indeed.
That's the kind of pressure I wanted to see.
Yes indeed.
From KPA. At least half-court pressure. Not necessarily full-court pressure, but half-court pressure.
Yes.
So you can't allow Samba to come up with the ball, arrange her offense, dump the ball into the post, and you expect that Samba, miraculously, they're going to miss. It's impossible.
Yes, it is, as Coach Ojuku calls a timeout. Is very necessary. With 3:28 to go, KPA up 57-53. As you can notice, this play should tell you everything. Natalie is very tired at this moment. She was so tired that she couldn't even read. Denise was about to send the hands out and cross over and leave. And that's why I think Coach Anthony Ojuku has realized that his player is a bit tired and has called a timeout to give her a breather and to let her sit down and gather her energy.
What do you think is the importance, Abel, of players taking either glucose or energy drinks in the course of a game?
Energy drinks are good, and that's why at the professional level they always have energy drinks, as we see Celine here finishing one of the few transitions that KPA went through, and Hilda and Darcy doing her job, taking the ball to KPA, never say die. Look at her weaving through all KPA players. She went through 4 players to get to the basket, and that's what she brings to the table. Hilda and Darcy, it's that experience. That's what she's been doing. That's why she's a 3-time champion in this country. That's why she's a 2-time league MVP, because she can do that. As you see Felmas there, and that combination with Natalie. As I was telling you earlier, this combination can easily be co-MVPs. Energy drinks are very good to boost your energy, to boost the energy of players, because at this moment, no matter how well you've trained, your body will run out of energy.
Exactly.
Because as hard as you train is as hard as you play. So that energy is going to be lowering itself as the game goes, because a game has more than just physical involvement. It has a lot of mental involvement. And that's the part that really exhausts you during the game.
What happened? What happened right there? KP already for the inbound, but they were recalled back to the benches. What's happening?
But what seems to be happening right now on the floor? Why is there a delay of play?
Because
you just blow the whistle as a referee. You don't have to go and wait. And it's a timeout that is given to Equity. That's exactly what happens. You give the team a second timeout, and that's how the rule goes. You don't wait for teams. I think you just take a timeout from them. The referee, Kiyumba, the young referee, didn't know what to do, and he was panicked. He went and stood next to the Equity Hawks bench.
I don't think that's the situation. I think he did not want to punish the coach of Equity. It's a friendship thing. It's very simple, Abel. The rule book says when a team goes beyond the 2 minutes that are allotted for timeout, you give them another timeout.
Exactly.
So you're going to be lost and confused.
Yes, indeed.
You just don't want to punish him, so that you can then look bad in his face. It's very simple.
And yes, indeed. So now the head referee had to make a decision as Juma Kent and call that timeout.
That's what he's telling him. You cannot be there standing them to blow your whistle and tell them come in. They don't come in, you give them another timeout. It's very simple. It's very simple.
Because the rule is striker, but it's kind of amazing because David Maina, coach of Equity, is a referee himself, hence knows the rules.
But he takes advantage because other people are helping and not applying the rules accordingly. So he'll take advantage. I would do the same. If my timeout is supposed to be 2 minutes and I take 4 minutes and nobody does anything, next time I'll take 5 minutes.
Yes, indeed.
Yes,
simple. Indeed. And
we're all human beings.
Equity loses a timeout that could be very crucial to them in this fourth quarter, because in the fourth quarter, ladies and gentlemen, you have 2 timeouts.
Exactly.
And right now, they have exhausted 1. I don't remember if they had taken 1 timeout before.
They could have, but unfortunately, we don't have a sign for timeouts on the scoreboard, so we're going to be very sure.
Yes, indeed, as KPA gets the ball on the inbound. Natalie controls the ball, and they're going to run that staggered play again one more time. No, they decide to go to a different play as they move the ball. KPA seems to have a little bit of misunderstanding on what the coach wants them to actually run. Now they go back to the staggered play.
Yeah.
As the ball comes back to Natalie, she has the wide open lane now. She can actually take the lane. Is she going to read it? She read it quietly. And passes to Felmas. Felmas, she plays with a lot of intelligence. She puts a lot of poise. This girl has really matured. Back in the day, she would have actually taken that drive for no reason. And she's read the play. She knows she has to be patient. KPA trying to waste time here and try to bring out Equity and give them wide open lanes. Good defense as Celine gets the ball. Celine tries to put it on the floor one more time and gets hit.
They have been not short of things yesterday.
As Natalie holds the ball, I believe Natalie should try to attack and score, because a turnover here could be very costly for KPA at this point if you don't attack the basket. And it's the 2-minute mark. KPA leads 57-53. As I was telling you yesterday, Musire, I don't agree with holding the ball for the whole 2 minutes. And she's called for a sportsman foul for smacking Natalie down. Denise has a frustration foul. And right now she has her 4th foul as Natalie goes to the line.
I think I agree with you to an extent, because at the end of the day, if I'm ahead, I expect those guys to apply pressure to me. So there's no pressure, they're all clogging the paint. I will not go anywhere near them. I'll pass the ball out like they did some screens and back and forth. There's no penetration. If there's no penetration, get the ball out.
Yes.
That is why, that's why Denise has been forced to actually draw that foul, because we'd rather draw the foul, let them go and shoot the free throw, then we can have a chance to get the ball. Otherwise,
unfortunately, it was the wrong foul because she did an unsportsman foul.
Yeah.
So the possession goes back to them. She actually hasn't helped her team.
So she should have gone
that foul. She's going to steal the ball,
exactly,
which would give her a common foul and be able to regain possession.
Exactly.
And right there, Natalie makes one of the 2. So the lead is 58-53 right now. KPA is up with 1:57 to go.
You know, but I agree with you to the extent that when you make players just pass the ball around, they kind of get out of that offensive mentality. So they don't really attacking.
Yes, this is what I'm talking about. You see what Serena has done? Attack. Let's attack, and if they overplay and it's not a wide open layup, then it's fine. Let's play differently. Otherwise, you risk this turnover. And a chance for Equity to cut the scores. That's what I keep reminding you of. Serena had a clear layup. Short the layup and extend the lead. Now the lead remains at 5 points, and your big men have 4 fouls each, so you don't really have an advantage.
That I agree.
These are the dangerous plays as Hilda tries to
another wild shot.
And that's a wild miss by Hilda. She didn't really need to do this at this moment. They still have enough time. It's 1:34 to go. It's a 5-point game. She could have ran the play simply. Who is playing defense on Natalie? It's amazing that she managed to get the ball all the time. If I'm Equity coach, when she passes the ball, she must not touch it again. And now they set the high pick and roll. That's a good hustle play by Hilda. Celine refuses to attack yet. They had the numbers. And Samba, and this is what I'm talking about. You see what I'm talking about? You see the referees are going to play into it. Now they didn't make this call.
Do you see what happened there?
Exactly, and Bridget with a wild foul knocks Belinda.
It's madness. Oh my God.
Out of the court completely for her 5th foul as she fouls out in this game with 1:05 to play. Scores are 53-58.
You know, Abel, I agree with that argument. Especially the one for Celine. She should have scored the basket. Definitely, she should have scored the basket.
Yes, indeed, it's very important to score the basket. We have to extend leads. Yes, indeed, coach. She has 5 fouls.
She has 5 fouls. She's fouled out.
Coach Anthony Ojukwu, your statistician should help you. She does have 5 fouls.
That's why she walked out.
Yes, indeed, she knows it herself. The coach doesn't seem to be aware. You know, the coach is complaining about the free throw situation because they're giving her 2 shots. He's right. It's not a shooting foul. The ball was with Samba Mujumba. Belinda was pushed away from the ball. It's the 4th team foul. It's a common foul. There's no free throw to be shot. And the referees have given 2 free throws. And that's what he's complaining about and showing them it's the 4th team foul.
It is
they
madness.
had 3 fouls.
It is madness.
These referees have been out of sorts all game today. They are confused and the table is confused likewise with them. This was not a shooting foul. This is the wrong call. Anthony Ojukwu is right about his complaint as Belinda misses both free throws and Felma secures the rebound.
Look at the confusion of the referee.
The referee is confused. It's a jump ball situation, so the ball will be equity ball if it's a jump ball situation. Kiyumba has been below par. I don't know why we didn't have international refs doing this game today. We had 2 international refs doing the other game, and in this game we don't have any. This is rather sad. As Denise can shoot the jump shot and turns the ball over, this lets KPA run, but KPA should try to score the basket and not hold the ball as they are trying to do because the gap remains a 5-point gap and you need to extend. And this is what I keep reminding you. It's another turnover by KPA. The referee is not making the call. KPA is not learning anything in this game. It's extremely frustrating.
Yes, but that's fine. But 3 times in those turnovers have actually been fouls on KPA. That was a foul. She got tripped. So yes, it doesn't matter whether they pass the ball around. The referee needs to make the right call.
But you need to play according to the referee. This is one thing that we all learned when we start the game. You cannot change a referee's mindset. The referees are refusing to make that call because there's no 24-second, and they're playing into the fact that they want to help Equity have what they call a fair advantage. So you as a player and as a team, you need to be smart and tell your players, when it's open, let's just score the layup and stretch the lead, and then come back and play defense because the referees are not giving us the call.
But my problem is, Abel, we cannot continue in this nonsense because it's very simple. When these players go out there, they get punished for these stupid things they're doing.
Absolutely, absolutely.
So the referee, like I said yesterday, is an arbiter. He's supposed to help the player get better. You can't give an advantage to one team, yet that team, when it goes out, cannot be able to play because the advantages that they get at home, they don't get them in international games.
Absolutely, I'm with you on this. These referees have completely missed this game.
It's crazy.
They have made very terrible calls. They have missed very obvious calls, and they have been rather unfair, especially to KPA. During most of this game, I must say, because Natalie has been hit one too many times by all the players on the Equity team, and they are not at all looking at this game fairly. It's quite incredible that they do this, and hence people calling them out and accusing them of certain things. Yet it might not be even the fact; it might just be their own personal decision to make the calls one way or the other.
Exactly.
It's 43 seconds to go, 53-58, KPA lead. KPA has the strong, Equity has a strong lineup in with Hilda, Mercy, Belinda, Samba, and Denise in. And KPA has a small lineup in with only Felmas as a post and Betty Kananu guarding the other post player. Let's see what they're running here as Hilda gets the ball as she turns the corner and misses the 3. And Georgia gets the ball, and of course she's fouled. And finally the referee makes the call on Samba. Georgia goes to the line. And this is what we're talking about. They were fouling Georgia from the onset.
She's fouled 3 times. On the rebound, here, okay, so when do you want this foul to be called? For me, I'll tell you something for free, Abel. I have had a very big problem with the refereeing in our country for the last 30 years I play basketball. And for sure, it has not helped us go anywhere. We ended up with nothing whatsoever.
So yes, so you see Coach Ojukwu making a smart step with 30 seconds to go up 5. He's removing Felmas because he doesn't need her to get hurt by the EBT players. Looking at the way the refs have been making the calls and not making certain calls, he's now protecting his big man who already received the cut, and you can see Natalie's substitute is already sitting there. Lucy's also on the technical bench, which is smart because once Georgia stretches this lead, this becomes a 3-possession lead. Equity has no more timeouts left because they have been given a timeout since. And Coach Anthony Ojukwu, to my surprise, calls a timeout.
I think he just wants to give the new players who have come in because they are, you know.
Yes, he has to prepare them for
exactly.
Yes, and the ball still doesn't advance, so there's no real issue with that. It's a 7-point game, which is a 3-possession game, a 4-possession game actually. So basically, he is basically setting up the young players he has just put in, so they don't panic and they know what to do next to the basketball.
Well, look at this guy. You know what I'm telling you? It's a timeout for KPA. Equity come back in and they want to give Equity the ball. I mean, what nonsense is this? What nonsense is this?
Our referees have lost total control. Yeah. First of all, it is not legal for the players to be on the court
they're supposed to be
during a timeout. This should be addressed by the organizer. They should talk to the referees. The referees have been ashamed today. They are running this game as if we're playing a tournament somewhere and it's not a real league match. It's not okay. So the referees call the teams lucky. Now KPA comes in because the referee is supposed to blow the whistle, and internationally, if you watch Post today, the referee goes to the benches to call the teams when the timeout is over. That is their job. That's why there are 3. 2 of them go to the teams, and 1 is at the ball. Exactly. This is what happens customarily, and it's rather disappointing that you have refs who have gone international like Juma Ken, and we are not enforcing anything that has to happen in a game. That's good recognition by Georgia. Adambo, do not foul. Just let her ride. It's okay, and she misses that as the rebound is taken by KPA. And this game is over at this point. Equity does not foul, so there is nothing else left here with 15 seconds to go. Equity should just let the clock run as they lose this second game. They need fumbles with 10 seconds to go. Scores a 60-53. KPA looks poised to win the second game and take a commanding 2-0 lead going to Mombasa. It looks as if this year both KPA teams are about to win. This will be unprecedented in this league, that KPA wins in both the ladies and the men's league.
Yeah. That will be very interesting because I don't think it has happened in the history of Kenya. 2 teams from the same team, or from the men's and women's team at the same time has not happened in Kenya's history. So this could be unprecedented with the win. And if all of them will sweep, it will also be another historical achievement.
And KPA ladies winning unbeaten.
Correct.
This is totally historic as Lucy takes the last shot and this game ends 60-53 in favor of KPA. KPA takes a commanding 2-0 lead to Mombasa. This was a tough game for both teams. They went at it, and Hilda Ndasi, kudos, she did a great job for Equity Hawks. She carried them most of the game. She reeled them into the end of this 4th quarter, but it just wasn't enough for Equity Hawks to stay in this game.
That's correct, that's right. But I've been very happy with the way the game has gone. Apart, of course, from very controversial refereeing decisions, but the players themselves have applied themselves to their fullest potential. You know, they have played under the instruction of the coaches, and of course the exertion and that kind of the mental fatigue and stuff like that. But basically, they played at the level that we expect them to play. The game was as exciting as it was. Apart from the first maybe 10-12 minutes, the game was as exciting as it was yesterday.
Yes, indeed, this game was really, really exciting, especially that 4th quarter lived up to the excitement. As you can see, Betty Kananu scoring there in the highlights. This game was willed and won by one Natalie Akinyi and Felmas. And those 2 players carried KPA from the 3rd quarter all the way to the 4th quarter. This was a very interesting game. We're looking forward to a very interesting matchup in Game 3 in Mombasa when both teams move back to Mombasa and meet each other.